Are you ready? Double shots. All right. Are you ready? Double shot. Power shot. Yes. Are you ready? Oh no. It's showtime. Wide shots. Are you ready? All right. It's showtime. Power shots. Wide double shot. Better luck next time. It's showtime. Power shots. Double shots. Wide shots. All right. Are you ready? It's showtime. Are you ready? Power shots. All right. It's showtime. It's showtime.